If you guys do have any other cars you want me to build, please comment them down below. I'm perfectly happy to build any other car, guys. You know, I've built pretty much every car in this game already, so I'm happy to reset that build or explain to you why I built the car the way I built it. So yeah, if you guys have any other cars you want me to build, please do let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to do it. And how's it going there? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Canine, and welcome to another drifting tutorial. Now, I've had a couple people ask me to please build certain cars, and the most recent request I had was the R34 SKYLINE. So, as always guys, we're going to hop into conversions. Now, we all know the R34 to be all-wheel drive. Most important thing about the tune in this car, we're going to go to rear-wheel drive. So let's hop that in. Now, I'm going to keep the, I believe it's an RB26 in this car, I think. Or RB20, no, I'm pretty sure it's the RB26. Gonna leave that in the car. Aero, I'm gonna leave. Now, I don't want to make this a 1,000 horsepower car like I did with the 370Z a little while ago. So we're just gonna go with stock or sport tires. I'm gonna leave it stock for now. We might change it up a little bit later, but because we're not doing this crazy high horsepower build, we're only gonna do the very, very basics of this car. Because obviously, if you want to see how to build a high horsepower car, you can go to the 370 build, 350 build that I did. Damn it, did I say 370 again? Bugger. Anyway, as always, like that tutorial before, we need to be able to tune our differential. We need to be able to tune our gears. It is very important that we change all of this stuff for tuning purposes. Now, when you're changing the drivetrain of a car, you have to do the drivetrain conversion first before you do the gears and whatnot, okay? Because all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive have two different sets. You have to repurchase everything if you do all-wheel drive and then convert it to rear-wheel drive. So you want to do the rear-wheel drive conversion first, then upgrade the drivetrain side of things. Now, as always, I do like having better brakes, even though they look a lot smaller. Obviously, drift suspension helps out with that caster. It gives you more steering angle, so we're going to throw that in. We want to be able to tune our roll bars, adjust how the body weight shifts in the car, so we can do weight transfers. Like I've always said, I do like having the roll cage in the car. It just looks good, not to mention it adds stiffness to the build, so we're going to pop that in. Now, like I said in the other build, I do like drifting heavier cars sometimes, but because this car's not going to have 1,000 horsepower, I need to be conservative with my weight. So we're going to lighten the absolute heck out of this car as best we can. Next thing, now we're coming to the power side of things. Now, the most important thing first is we need to get our twin turbos as powerful as possible. We want to upgrade the flywheel, make that nice and light so the car revs faster. Now, what other little upgrades can we do? So, you know, you're going to want to have a nice custom exhaust on your car in real life. So let's go with the new exhaust. I don't want to do anything too crazy. Let's go with the good air intake as well, shall we? There we go. Alright, so that's all the power I'm going to do for this car. I've got 367 kilowatts, which if we convert that to horsepower for you guys quickly, we're at 367. This is a 492 horsepower car. That's a fair chunk of horsepower, you know? Maybe we should boost that up to 500. What do you guys say? Why don't we go 378? Is that 500? 378. There you go. That's a 500 horsepower build. Let's go with that. Simple little 500 horsepower build. Nothing too out of this world. You know, very achievable. I mean, this costs, what, 7 grand? It probably costs more closer to about 40 to 50 grand. I've had this car built and I've broken it and rebuilt it again just for this video. But yeah, very simple little build. Now, we're going to do the very basics here. We're going to go locking up the diff. Dampening, we want a little bit on the softer side of things. Bump stiffness is good. Well, there's a little on the soft side. Ride height's nice and low. Roll bars, again, the reason we want things to go towards the softer side is purely for that weight transfer. You want, if you have stiff suspension, the body's going to stay flat while you're driving around. Very good for racing, you know, because then you can control the car very well. But in drifting, you want that body to be able to be thrown, because that throws the car sideways so you can catch it. So you do want that softer suspension. I'm not going to fiddle with the alignment just yet. We might come to this. I'm going to gear this car towards acceleration, so the gears are a lot shorter and the car will rev a lot faster. Because we want to get that car in that high RPM to maintain the power, to maintain the tire spinning. So you don't want long gears, because when you start drifting, the car's going to lose its power, basically. There's a word for it, it's just left my mind. Again, tire pressure is all about your grip. Now remember, we have stock tires and the rears have been slightly widened. So we don't have grippy tires, so we're going to leave this alone for now. We'll apply that, and let's hit the road, guys. Now, I did do a little design on this car. I love the color of it. I've got a black wing, black mirrors, black hood. I think this looks really, really good. And obviously, we've got the best driver in the world being the Stig. Not a bad sound. Now, because the good old YouTubes love their copyright, I am going to make sure I'm in streamer mode. I am not. There we go. Because I know YouTube loves their copyright. Let's just make sure my controls are correct as well. Yep. Alrighty. Let's get into it, guys. Let's see how this little build has done. Alrighty. Well, as you can see, clearly the car gets sideways already. Now, as you can see, I'm not bouncing off the rev limiter because the car doesn't have the power to do that. So, this is where, when I mentioned the 350Z, you know, power is very important, and then it becomes to how you tune your car, you know? So, having a low horsepower car, I mean, this car has half the horsepower of that 350 we did. I keep saying 370, I'm unsure why. Yeah, this car has half the horsepower of that build that we did in the 350. Let that man get past so I can angle my car nicely. There we go. Not a bad little car, man. I'm thinking I may have to go back on the tires. You know, just go back to complete stock, because we do have quite a lot of grip in the rear right now. Which is making it hard for the car to do the longer corners. Alright, do a quick manji. Nope, okay, car didn't want to angle for me. Now, lower horsepower builds on Forza are a lot harder to drive than they are in other games. For example, I play a lot of Assetto Corsa nowadays, and when you're playing Assetto Corsa, you can have a 300 horsepower car and it will drive beautifully. Just on Forza, it seems like those lower horsepower builds are a lot more difficult to drive. Alright, so I do think the first move we need to make is I'm going to, you know, make our rear tires a bit skinnier again. I'm also thinking about possibly cambering out our wheels and increasing the tire pressure. Now, the reason I'm thinking about those couple of things, so obviously making this tire smaller, less grip in the rear. Making the camber higher on, there we go, let's skinny up those again. Increasing the tire pressure will mean less grip in the rear again. And also when you camber out the wheels, so if the wheels are like this generally, you know, with the whole tire surface touching the road. If you start cambering out the wheels, less of that tire surface is going to touch the road, meaning less grip as well, okay? Alright, so now that we've skinnied up these tires a little bit, let's see how she drives now. Now, driving around the festival is actually a really, really good place to get a feel for a build, because it's got this long corner, so you can test it out on a longer corner hill. Yeah, you know, maintaining that RPM. I may need to shorten the gears a little bit again. But there we go. Look at that. Nice and smooth. Alright, now we're going to bring it back. Bit of handbrake. Bit more gas. Alright, coming to a bit tighter of a corner now. Feather that throttle. There we go. A little on the wide side. That's alright. Bit of a manji. Alright, this car handles pretty well. She's not bad. Let's keep her going, let's keep her going, let's keep her going. Now obviously again, being a low horsepower build, it is more difficult to drive than my previous build that I did for you guys. But this car does work, and it's a very, very simple build. You know, you could go a lot more into suspension tuning, tire tune, like the pressure and all that. Camber is probably the next thing I'd fiddle with. Just to get that, a little less grip in the rear. I may even adjust the camber on the front to get a little more grip in the front. You know, just so we can get that slightly better pull around the corners, you know? There we go, hold that outside edge. Yeah, this is a very good little car. Probably not something I'd pick all the time, personally. I'm not the biggest fan of the R34, I prefer the R32. I actually have a build of an R32 that I spent a lot of time on. Excuse me. Alright, and we just go for another one of these. Look at that. Not a bad little car, man. Alright, now, you know, I did speak to you guys about maybe fiddling with the rear camera a little bit. Let's have a look at it, shall we? Where are we at with the rear camera? I don't think it's been touched. Okay, so the rear camera is already at 1.5. Now, we obviously don't want one of those cambered out, stanced horribleness cars. So, maybe if we increase this to perhaps 2.5, just add another degree to our rear camber, just a little bit less grip. The next move after this would most definitely be increasing the tire pressure. So let's do another little lap here, see how she feels. I can tell you right now there's less grip in the rear. There's definitely less grip in the rear right now. Not bad. It's a minor difference, but definitely can tell that there is a difference, you know? Bit of wall tap there, cheeky little wall tap, as you do. Again, as always, try to hold this outside edge. There we go. Go for the transition. This third gear seems to be very, very nice. A little wide there, my mistake. Still trying to get used to that little less grip that I had before. Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. Very, very simple little build, you know? Nice and easy. Now, with a 350, I did the whole downhill on the island. So I think I'm pretty happy with how this build has gone. You know, again, could do slightly finer tuning, could fiddle with the gears a little bit more. Obviously, I kind of got a little lucky with third gear happening to be this perfect gear for the corners I've been taking. But very, very slight adjustments. The camber was probably the biggest thing I had to change. You know, softening up the roll bars a little bit, softening the suspension a little bit. Dampeners I've softened just a touch. Didn't touch the arrows, don't have any arrows to touch. Brake bias, if you really want to like get into serious tuning, generally you want a bit of front brake bias, because that's just going to bring the back end around a little bit harsher. But again, wouldn't fiddle with that until you get really experienced. Front brake bias will slow the front of the car down faster than it slows the rear of the car down. Again, which will just help throw that rear end out. That's getting quite advanced into tuning. And obviously we just locked up the diff. So it's a very, very simple little build. I think it's time we head to the island and we'll do the mountain downhill like we did in the 350. I'll tell you guys how I feel. I might do another adjustment. You guys never know. But very simply, the R34 is a very good engine in it. Twin turbo obviously helps out quite a lot. You know, sitting at 500 horsepower, it's not a crazy amount of horsepower. Most cars in the game could easily reach 500 horsepower with the right parts attached. And stock tires, you know, very, very little grip, meaning the tires will spin very easily. Obviously, I did want to widen them to get a little bit more traction, but that ended up being a little too much for the car. Also cambered the wheels out for slightly less traction again. I'm actually going to do a race just so we can get it into summer, so it's not raining like it is, because obviously raining changes the whole dynamic of the car. The rain means the road's going to be wet, means you're going to have even less grip than normal. And when you're building a car, generally you want to make sure your test drives are done in summer. Purely because, you know, summer's when you're going to drive the car the most. Summer's where you get the tire smoke and it's the most fun and it's the most consistent. Is it? Oh, this car's an A-class. Sorry, my mistake. I was like, why can't I find my car? There she is. Alright, hopefully I've set up this next race here to be during the daytime. Fingers crossed. But how gorgeous does this paint job look, man? You know, it's not the generic silver, blue, black. You know, it's something a little bit different. I really like the look of this thing. Alright, what are we in the race with? Obviously, we're not going to race. We're going to let everyone drive away. We're here purely for tuning. Alright, so I'm just going to pull off to the side here so no one hits us. And we're going to let them drive off. See you later, guys. Alright, we're ready, okay? So, here we go. Bit of a burnout to start off with. Why not? There we go. Here we go. Now, the first couple of corners are going to be more difficult than the others because these are quite long corners. And obviously, being that lower horsepower build, it's going to be quite difficult for us to reach these longer corners. There we go. I do feel like I want to change it to fourth, but third works so well. There's fourth. Oh, can you see how the car's struggling now? Mid third. That's unfortunately where that 500 horsepower comes in, man. We just unfortunately started losing power there in fourth. Alright, here we go. Here's the real drift mountain. Let's go. Here's what we came for, boys. There we go. Hold it. There we go. Take it out nice and wide. There we go. Bring it back. Bit of handbrake, bit of gas. Down with the brake to slow down a little bit. Now that's where the front brake and bias would come in there, guys. A little bit of braking I did there, it would help swing the back end out a little bit more, if you guys want to get to that point. But you don't want like crazy front brake bias, you just want that little bit. Alright, now what I am feeling is, again, horsepower is my biggest problem. Now a lot of these corners work a lot better in a high horsepower car. I'm talking probably 700 plus horsepower. It's probably the best numbers you want for this kind of, for the downhill section here. You know, for the average car at least. You know, the more horsepower the merrier. It always ends up being a bit more fun. But personally, my favorite cars are around the 700 horsepower mark on this game. But 500 horsepower, as you can see, perfectly doable. You can't throw a crazy angle or anything like that because you need that forward momentum more than anything, because you're not carrying crazy speed or anything. So yeah, perfectly good little build, guys. If you guys do have any other cars you want me to build, please comment them down below. I'm perfectly happy to build any other car, guys. You know, I've built pretty much every car in this game already, so I'm happy to reset that build or explain to you why I built the car the way I built it. So yeah, if you guys have any other cars you want me to build, please do let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to do it. Now, I actually would like to try and get more into these Forza drifting tutorial videos again. It's been a little bit since I did that 351. Haha, got it right then. But as you can see, guys, you know, simple little 500 horsepower build. Works quite nicely. Now let's race on to the finish. Into fourth. Now, as I did with the 350, I will put this tune up on the store so you guys can download it if you'd like to give it a go. A little bit of handbrake there. Oopsie. Yeah. That's where having very little grip on the rear doesn't help out, man. Bit of handbrake, bit of gas. Down to third. But that's that, guys. There is my simple little R34 build. Oh man. Thank you again for sorry, I want to quick shout out the guy that requested this. Stefan Palco. He is the guy that requested that I please build one of these cars. And well, good sir, consider that done. Simple little R34 build. Obviously, having the stick drive the car was very helpful. Made me look good. Alright, let's put this on the store so you guys know exactly what to look for, shall we? Alright, so let's go here. Go through to the car. Tune car. We shall save the setup, please. Yep, save. Now, let's see. What should we name her? Oh, okay. Apparently it's named Forza. Damn it. I wanted to... Oh, I'm on my computer. Anyway, let's cancel this. I want to save it properly. I forgot I'm playing on my computer, not my Xbox. Alright, delete that, please. Alright, let's see. So we'll name it R34 500 horsepower. Simple, easy to find if you guys are going to be searching for it. Obviously, it's going to be drift, best for handling. Description, oopsie, as seen on YouTube. Man, typing is on point this morning. But there you go, guys. That's how you find it. It is now on the storefront. If you guys want to give it a go, there's my 500 horsepower R34. Thank you all for watching. Again, recommend cars down below, guys. But other than that, I am out of here. You guys have a good one.